Let's start with the #1 story tracking hot today. Fox Sports reporter Erin Andrews' emotional testimony in her $75 million lawsuit against the Nashville Marriott at Vanderbilt University. Back in 2008, Erin was stalked and filmed through the peephole of her hotel room. The 37-year-old taking the stand and revealing what many victims feel. What could I have done differently?
Have you been able to forget?
No. I'm not allowed to go have a life and forget for 2 seconds that I wasn't called by a hotel for a person to come stay next to me. I'm not allowed to go live my life.
7 years later, and on day 2 of testimony, both Erin and her family have revealed just how the trauma of that peeping Tom violation haunts all aspects of Erin's life.
We just kept telling her, it's not your fault, you're a victim, you've been assaulted. It's a nightmare that doesn't stop.
As we look at Erin Andrews' testimony, we're definitely seeing someone who is still really struggling with this episode in her life. It's clearly left her very distressed, very agitated.
Probably for like 3 months, everybody thought it was a publicity stunt. The front page of the New York Post said ESPN scandal. Everybody put up that I was doing it for publicity and attention, and that ripped me apart.
There's layer after layer after layer where she's being forced to revisit this initial trauma.
Our insider into victim trauma, psychologist Dr. Ramani Dravasula, analyzes the layers of emotional scar tissue formed not just by her stalker, but according to Erin, then employer ESPN.
So did ESPN require that you give an interview?
Yes. My bosses at ESPN told me before you go back on air for college football, we need you to give a sit-down interview.
I am a victim of a stalker because we know that this happened in at least 2 rooms.
In 2009, Erin chose Oprah as the vehicle to tell her story, and she testified that leading up to that moment, every ounce of her being wanted to run.
I wanted nothing to do with it. I was in the office or her green room, and I was sitting there and I was just bawling.
It was clearly something she is saying in court she was not comfortable doing. Now she's sort of dealing with 2 traumas.
And I think her producer had heard me crying, and all of a sudden in walked Oprah in her slippers and her butterfly eyelashes, and she said, "I've got you. You're safe here. I'll take care of you."
And I get it off the internet, get it off.
We'll be right back.
And all of a sudden she just stopped taping. I just was like, did I do something wrong? Is it okay? She's like, yeah, you're fine, you're fine. And this makeup lady came with a cold compress and she put it all over my neck. And I had broken out a huge rash.
And the outbreak occurred quickly. The image on the right was just 4.5 minutes into the first segment.
I'd never seen my neck or body do that before. Every day of my life, I feel so embarrassed and I'm so ashamed.
I saw a woman who kept saying that she felt ashamed. That was so troubling to me. This idea of survivors or victims of any crime ever blaming themselves for simply going about their lives is so troubling. And I do hope that she's able to work through that idea. She did nothing wrong.